Our mission is to promote, present, and perpetuate the best of jazz to the greater St. Louis metropolitan area, and we support that mission with an expanding program of education and outreach activities. When we first started, we were Jazz at the Bistro, and our primary function was to present these world-class jazz artists on the stage. Just recently, the Jazz at the Bistro program was honored in USA Today in an article about the 10 best jazz clubs in the country, a list compiled by Wynton Marsalis, and he said that we had impeccable bookings and that our club was the best managed in the business, which was quite an honor.
This is a jazz club of the highest order. I've played a ton of jazz clubs around the world. When you're going to go on the road, as much as we do, you want to go to places that you really enjoy going to. It's just one of the top jazz rooms in the country, if not the world.
I really enjoy working at Jazz at the Bistro. It's one of my favorite clubs, actually. They really believe in the music. They're really for the champions of this music. For me, the school programs are really important, and I'm glad that they do that. Education is a must for me.
Really, you have to connect with the community in very tangible ways, which is why we started programs like the Emerson Education Initiative, the Trio Foundation Workshop Series, the THF Realty All-Star Student Ensemble. These are allowing us to help the youth of our community to connect to a very important part of our shared American heritage. When you look back at St. Louis history, you'll see that we produced some of the most influential musicians in the history of jazz. And it's our responsibility to cultivate and help the next generation of great St. Louis jazz artists to flourish. There are a lot of students out there who would love to learn to play this music, which is why we developed the Trio Foundation Workshop Series, and that allows us to train students who aren't quite at the caliber of the students in the THF group so that they can still receive training. Unfortunately, small group performance is something that's not emphasized in schools. They just don't have the time or the resources to do that, which is why we developed this, because small group performance is the essence of jazz playing. That's where all of the musicians are all on stage creating, improvising, and negotiating together to create great music. We designed a program where we would take the best of the jazz musicians, student jazz musicians in our region, and create an ensemble for them so that they could progress, meet with some of the world-class artists that were coming to the Bistro for lessons and workshops and further training, so that when they get to college, they're already a leg up on the other students that are there because they've been able to have these types of experiences.
Then I joined my high school's jazz band just because I wanted to go to Berklee College of Music to study rock, and so I thought that would look good on our resume. And so I went to, and then some friends had told me about this Jazz at the Bistro All-Star Band, because one of my friends was the drummer for it, and I went to see them play, and it was so inspiring that it was actually the first time that I actually liked what I heard through jazz. And so I went home, started practicing, and a couple months later I made this group. The next year I'd made the All-State Jazz Band. That following summer, Berklee College of Music selected me for an international jazz combo, and the next year I was selected as the #2 jazz guitarist in the nation. And I owe it all entirely to Jazz at the Bistro. And that first concert is what built me up to be the musician that I am today.
Until last year, when I joined the group, I haven't really played on a jazz stage. It's a totally different environment from the classical realm. It's a communication, and it's really a good experience, and that probably took me by surprise more than anything. A couple of weeks ago, our ensemble got to play at the Sheldon Hall with Ron Carter, and we played for a lot of young kids, and they were really interested in the music. And I mean, it's great music, so it's a good experience for us, and it's good also as well to share with the next generation, because to keep the music alive, you have to keep the kids involved, and it's just good to spread the wealth.